MySukan Corner. Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner. Beberapa musim yang lepas, kita ada bualkan berkenaan dengan flag football. Tapi untuk episod kali ini, kita bawakan seorang atlet yang juga kita akan bicarakan tentang flag football, tapi dia ada sedikit penambahan, which is penghijrahan pergi ke sebuah sukan yang kini kian menjadi trend, iaitu HYROX. Nak tahu siapa atlet kita pada episod kali ini dan apa cerita dari beliau? Jom sama-sama kita mulakan Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner. Secara istimewa untuk episod kali ini, kita bawakan Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner, seorang yang sangat memiliki fizikal yang kuat. Kerana itulah beliau memilih untuk beralih daripada flag football pergi ke sukan HYROX. Kita jemput dan kita ucapkan selamat datang kepada Kang. Welcome, Mark.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you juga sebab sudi bersama dengan kami. Mark, kita nak buka cerita dulu pasal flag football, Mark. How you start dan sejauh mana your journey with flag football? Mungkin you boleh share sikit.
Alright. I started my journey in 2018 with flag football. Started a bit late as a normal player. The community was small in Malaysia. But over the years, progressively, I think numbers of the community has grown. And I have exerted myself from player to coach. Right now, I'm the national team director and head coach for Team Malaysia, for the men's and women. So the journey right now it doesn't stop there. We are actually moving forward to get Malaysia to Olympics.
Oh, ada misi untuk ke Olimpik. Sejauh mana you melihat flag football ini boleh membawa Malaysia ke peringkat lagi tinggi?
So basically, how we look at it is it starts with the community and of course goals of what we can achieve. So our community in Malaysia is growing, and basically a lot of youth and a lot of trends that starts flag football because it is a growing sport worldwide. So it has also come to Asia that grows the interest of youth to sign up to be in this sport. Because they can see the pathway where flag football can take you. Basically, every year there's always a major tournament that represents your country. So I think things like that motivates Malaysians to be part of that journey.
Tak susah ke, Mark, bila you nak bawa satu sukan yang asasnya adalah daripada sukan komuniti untuk pergi ke peringkat lebih tinggi? Dapat ke sokongan sepatutnya daripada mereka-mereka yang mereka-mereka yang terlibat, I mean badan-badan yang terlibat dan sebagainya, kerajaan khususnya? Susah ataupun sebagai sebuah sukan komuniti ni you ambil satu langkah yang it's okay, we grow up together, we move together, kita buat sendiri?
Other words to say, memang paling susah.
Paling susah.
To get government support. But again, we have to be positive because some of the founding people for MAFA is our Malaysian Association Flag Football. So one of our founding guy, Cham, who passed away recently, he believes that if the community can come together, we can actually dominate how we would like the community to grow further into the sports, especially bringing flag football into the next level. So this comes down to having good training structures, understanding the game, exposure, international exposure to get the interest of the player. Because if tak ada interest or tak ada international exposure to get better, the growing stops. So you you just play within your same level, but that's not how sports is. Sports is you want to be the best and to be the best at your position, and to compete.
Betul.
So even though you play many years in Malaysia, in your country, the growth is a pin over there, stops. And to get better is to go overseas, and overseas over Asia, we have big tournaments macam kat Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and then stretching over to Japan, Korea, things like that. So it just have to come down for the community to understand and agree to the terms and compete.
Okay. Sebelum ni, kita pernah juga bersama dengan atlet sukan dodgeball. Okay. Okay. FYI, dodgeball bertanding memang 100% menggunakan duit mereka sendiri.
Yeah.
Mereka gerak sendiri, walaupun ke peringkat dunia sekalipun sendiri. Dan for me, lebih menyakitkan pertandingan di peringkat antarabangsa pun, diorang tak ada hadiah. Dodgeball. Okay, saya perlukan jawapan pendek saja, ya ataupun tidak. Adakah sukan flag football di Malaysia juga begitu?
Sama.
Okay, selepas ini kita akan sama-sama bualkan kenapa beralih daripada flag football ke HYROX. Stay tune, Rakan Muda Presents MySukan Corner. Rakan Muda Presents MySukan Corner. Episod kali ini kita bersama dengan Mark Kang, ataupun kita lebih familiar dikenali sebagai Mark Kang, yang mana aktif sebelum ini dalam sukan flag football, kemudian beralih kepada HYROX. Mark, disebabkan semata-mata trend ke, atau kenapa awak tukar sukan daripada flag football ke HYROX?
HYROX definitely is a trend. But I didn't change because I know that HYROX is a high intensity kind of workout regime. I actually took HYROX because two things here. I had a very good friend of mine who got me to join a first class, and I don't really do these kind of things. And actually, due to my first experience in my first class, it was good. It was tough, but it was good. That's where I saw that me doing HYROX more now does elevate or improve my cardio and how my body should be physically be fit to do the exercise and so to play flag football.
Okay. Yeah. So, flag football adalah sukan berlandaskan komuniti. Is it HYROX juga macam tu?
Yes, HYROX is macam like any studios, gym studio you go to, they have their own community, which is good and which is advisable to have. HYROX is like a program where people come together, stick to the same workout and regime they need to do to accomplish. It's same thing as competing. Flag football, competition. HYROX, same thing. You go to any events, the main competition is actually not your opponents, but yourself. Because it does involve mental state of how and where you're at. And also it shows your current level of your fitness. Now that is not controllable, because how you want to control your sleep, your stress level, work, because working out and playing flag football sports, any sports you play, is a luxury. Because you must put your time, because the main thing you need to do is working. You have to work, right? So to invest your time to that takes a lot of effort, because it does affect your mental state, where sometimes you get too tired and too exhausted. People tend to push. Again, pushing is good, but it's a yes and no. Because I'm in the field of fitness, and sometimes it does disrupt people's sleeping pattern or how they feel when they work out or any other ordinary day. So that's why HYROX, to train, it does help boost up your body condition, how you should be able to do the workout, and also it does help you out during your day-to-day routine.
Untuk involve dalam sukan HYROX ni, Mark, saya pernah tengok juga beberapa posting berkaitan dengan sukan HYROX yang menyertainya kadang-kadang bukannya orang-orang yang ada lean body, yang ada fitness yang ni. So dia sebenarnya apa tahap yang paling reliable untuk seseorang to join HYROX, ataupun everyone can join?
I believe any workout event, like HYROX itself, anybody can join, but the consequences is how do you perform during that day. So preparation is key to anything that you do. So if somebody would like to join HYROX, they need to set a time, like a schedule, for them to prepare themselves to do the workout routine, because doing those one workout does elevate your heart rate. So it brings your heart rate to a different state of how you are right now as how we both are talking right now. So preparing your body and being in a safety measurement to complete the workout safely and also not injuring yourself. So again, I believe it does also come down to high confidence to do the exercise, because you're competing in the big crowd, close out to 2,000 or could be more in an event, and people are looking at what you're doing. Okay. And right now it's the hottest topic of HYROX. Okay. So the moment you say that I'm going for HYROX, and people are like, wow.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Okay. And say, are you prepared or are you ready? And that's where you talk about your journey. Like, yes, I worked for 3 months to 6 months to prepare to go to whichever country they would like to compete. Okay. But it's not easy because some people might be unfit to want to do HYROX because of the trend. Okay. Again, preparation is very important. It might not sit to the expectation of their timing. But again, because of their first HYROX, they might go for a second one to beat their timing.
Okay. So, adakah itu bermakna memang siapa-siapa yang nak memulakan aktiviti HYROX ni harus ada preparation?
Mesti. Have to. Yeah, because you cannot simply just in any competition or team sport or even a job interview, you cannot go in not prepared. Okay. Because you want to not disappoint yourself. Okay. So you need to know to do the basic preparation for yourself. Okay. Meal prep, training, sleeping pattern, things like that throughout the leading towards HYROX or any other events that you would like to participate. So so preparation is very, very important.
Okay, kena ada jugalah. Yeah. Saya kaitkan dengan satu lagi sukan trend, which is pickleball. Yeah. Kadang-kadang pickleball datang main je terus.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So HYROX is different.
Yeah.
HYROX harus you kena prepare at least you punya stamina, you punya fitness before you start that sports.
Correct.
Betul
Betul. Yeah.
Okay. Sebelum kita break, apakah antara starter pack yang perlu ada untuk someone yang nak join HYROX?
Oh, do your research first before you do HYROX and hit the gym.
What?
Yeah. You have to. For me personally, to do HYROX, you cannot today you look opening slot in Singapore, China or whatever.
Nak pergi.
Join. I mean, you can, but again, you will not be pleased to see your result, or you could actually harm yourself by doing the exercise.
Okay, takut harm yourself tu. Itu. Right. Baik. Aku takut ingat macam mak tadi macam marah saya tadi kan, macam do your research before you ask question. Oh bukan. Saya do your research before you involve dalam HYROX. Okay. Sejauh mana sebenarnya dalam konteks negara kita Malaysia untuk mengangkat sukan HYROX ini, kita akan bualkan selepas ini. Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner. Episod kali ini Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner. Masih lagi saya bersama dengan Mark Kang yang merupakan atlet flag football. Dalam masa yang sama juga sekarang aktif dalam sukan HYROX. Dalam konteks negara kita Malaysia, sejauh mana you rasa HYROX ini boleh membawa nama negara kita? Melihatkan kepada apa yang you sedang lakukan sekarang. Community, aktiviti, penyertaan ramai, minat ramai, trend, whatsoever. You rasa sejauh mana dia boleh buat nama Malaysia?
So basically what I feel that where HYROX stands is like a trend where it will be there temporarily. I might be wrong because what I see is HYROX has always been there. Mm-hmm. It's just that it came to Malaysia like a couple of years ago, like a year or two ago, and people have been talking about it. So what I feel that what will keep the trend going is to have gym where all the athletes that represent the gym to do HYROX is the community that maintains that pace. Because without community like who goes for HYROX, there won't be HYROX. Okay. From my personal point of view. Okay. Because the people are the one representing training, talking about HYROX, posting on Instagram, going to other countries, competing with the gym's name, coming back with a trophy. So things like that inspire other people to participate and join the next one. Because if there's no people to be inspirational, to involve people to go, then it's will be tough, I feel. So I believe that to my sources that Malaysia will host its first HYROX event end of the year. So that'll be great to see not just Malaysians competing, but all around the world that will be coming to Malaysia to do it. So that could be the start of it, and there are gyms out there. I know good friends are opening up gyms and licensing them to make it as a HYROX licensed gym for people to come in and do their workout. So, as how trends go, it will maintain. But I feel that events like this, other trends will come in and people will be talking about that. So we'll see how this couple of years HYROX will be in Malaysia.
Okay, but kita balik kepada word yang mengaitkan sukan ini, which is trend. Okay, perkataan trend tu, bila cakap pasal trend, dia akan ada sampai masanya akan, sebab trend ada up, ada down. Sama juga orang bercakap tentang flag football, orang bercakap tentang pickleball, sebab dia bukan satu sukan teras, yang memang ada pembangunannya dekat semua sekolah, dipertandingkan secara meluas, yada-yada whatsoever. You rasa HYROX ni akan mengalami nasib yang sama, which is nama nanti komuniti pun dah tak aktif, dah ramai yang kahwin, dah ramai yang tua, whatever, contoh lah dah kahwin, dah meningkat usia, so orang nak join HYROX pun kurang, datang pula ada trend pula baru nanti, kita tak tahu lagi masa depan datang trend baru lagi. So you rasa HYROX juga akan mengalami nasib yang sama?
I feel that for me, because I like to compete, so if a sport event or an event like this isn't in like macam SEA Games or in the Olympics or any other Asian Championship tournaments, it would not be as hype as before. Okay. It would not as how it was back then. We know about HYROX, and when people, 1/3 of our population do attend and they go and participate, and when they come back, how many HYROX can you do? Okay. How many marathon runs can you do? Just people become coaches after that and to teach the love of that sport that they do to other people. So I feel trend there's a timer on trends. It's just when would it be? When would it not die off? It will still be there. Okay. But would it be as hype as before? That's what I'm trying to say. So usually athletes from other sports do HYROX because maybe at their field, in the professional, they feel like, okay, they have reached the highest peak of their level and their conditioning. Maybe they want to do HYROX to see where it goes. Things like that. So maybe the opportunity of the attraction HYROX will take will be a different set of people. Consider how it is now, because a lot of gym goers, professional coaches, gym owners, they will go and represent. But how many gym owners are there until other people start coming in and until where the topic of HYROX isn't spoken about? So yeah.
Saya tak tahu, saya terfikir, sebab saya pun, it's not fair untuk saya cakap ni pun sebenarnya, sebab saya tak involve sepenuhnya dengan HYROX, but I know about that sports. Adakah HYROX akan jadi dinormalizekan sebagai satu macam orang normalizekan gym? Exercise, kita boleh exercise sendiri, betul, tanpa equipment whatsoever, tapi wujud gym, so orang pergi gym for exercise whatsoever. So HYROX ni akan dinormalizekan like dalam part of the activities dalam gym. Do you think dia akan jadi macam tu?
Eventually, you might get to that. It will still become an event. It will still consider a big event, but it won't be as hype as before. Gym goers, when like in Malaysia, where I think the year 2000, I'm 35 now, so I've not seen 91 onwards, but maybe when I was in school, 2005, to join a gym was a luxury. And it was I think for all of us here, it was like to join the gym, pay membership every month, it was a luxury. Still is. But back then with the join gym, it was a big thing. Because you go into the gym, you see personal trainers, you see other people working out, lifting heavy, doing one last rep, things like that. It was a huge thing and a big trend. As it goes by, then there are programs, group classes. I used to work in the gym, so I saw that trend. And and it attracts people to do bodybuilding.
Okay.
And that has been many years, over the decades. It has been in the gym industry. Then from that, it became the conditioning.
Okay.
So as the years go by, there are always things coming in. People start practicing it as a normal norm in the gym. People go to gyms to train their HYROX program.
Okay.
Instead of going to group classes. Now people are going group classes instead of going to the gym, things like that.
Okay.
So for studios that I mentioned, like gym owners, they open a HYROX gym, they are the one who will keep HYROX program alive and keep the community to be more involved doing HYROX program.
Okay. Sedikit pendapat dari you. You rasa HYROX ni akan jadi sama macam Pilates, Zumba, yoga. You rasa begitu tak?
Why I feel this program like Pilates, yoga, Zumba is the biggest like group classes and classes private and public to the community, right? HYROX will eventually get to that. And a higher name, top name like Pilates, running classes, all this, it does get into a norm into that program.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that eventually, I'm not too sure when, but it has already begun its journey here. You go to Singapore, you go to Thailand, they have HYROX classes. Is it as hype? I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But would people know what's HYROX? If you can research it online, eventually it will be a normal norm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Sebelum kita break, katalah Mark, satu hari you akan dapat satu support dari satu pihak yang besar untuk membawa sukan ini ke peringkat yang lebih tinggi, mewakili Malaysia. Tapi you cuma ada satu pilihan, flag football atau HYROX. You akan pilih mana?
Oh, flag football.
Rather than HYROX?
Yes.
Okay. After this, kita sambung lagi. Rakan Muda presents MySukan Corner. Stay tuned guys. Alright guys, dalam apa jua bidang, apa jua sukan terutamanya yang kita ceburi, kita mesti ada satu target utama ataupun objektif yang paling besar untuk kita capai. Setidak-tidaknya untuk set satu tanda aras bagi diri kita, komuniti terdekat ataupun sesiapa yang melihat kita. Tapi bila kita dah capai ke satu tahap yang tertinggi, secara tidak langsung bakal menjadi inspirasi untuk generasi yang akan datang. Mereka akan berkata, aku nak jadi macam dia. Sebab kita dah capai satu tanda aras yang tinggi. So, Mark, tak kisah dalam sukan flag football ataupun HYROX, apa awak punya main target?
Well, my main target for Malaysia, the flag, actually like not just flag football, is to always inspire other athletes to be better. Not just the skill set, but as a human being. Because when you play sports, it's sportsmanship, right? But why is it always spoken you should be better in the sport, but when you get out of the field, where you dah habis your tournament, your character isn't the same as how you are on the field.
Okay.
So that is the inspiration I would like to relate to the younger generation of athletes. I mean, I have my flaws, but of course I have good mentors and good coaches. For me, why I'm inspired to be a coach is because of my coach in flag football. Right now, he's the head coach in Indonesia. But what he has taught me is that a lot of players out there take things for granted. But is it the players' fault, upbringing, or coaches? Because it's not controllable, right? So I would like to be like, I don't want to be like my coach, but I would like to be where he stands for, what he stands, what he represents. And that's what we want. It's like, we want to be, I would like to lead by example of how I should do things, and players also to relate that. And for them to bring that generation to the other athletes, younger athletes, because it's tough. If you are growing up, the only child, or you join an individual sport and then you want to transition into this, people tend to mock you, or people tend to make you feel like you just play for yourself. I would like to change that mindset of athletes. I mean, I would try my best. Not saying I have all the tools, but I will learn as I will go in. but I do stand firm of how I am, of leading by example of how you are as a human being. So when you are representing your country or when you're out there, you can say that he plays flag football or he had a coach. His character change. He is inspiring other people. That is what I want, because we lack that in Malaysia.
Okay. What is the biggest lesson or maybe inspiration from flag football as a team sport and also HYROX as a more an individual sport?
You have to be a team player. You have to be humble on what you do. It's words are easy to say, but the action speaks louder than words. So it's basically like a team sport. Like if you're doing a mixed double or a group, but if you're going to go train with somebody, you got to be a team player. So you need to know where does your teammate's fitness is at. How are you able to motivate him or her to make you to also establish yourself to be a humble player? Because if you're just saying a lot, I. So one thing about flag football, of that culture we like to talk about, is we always say we. Even though I address myself as third person, what can we do about it? Instead of what I can do for you. It's a different context, even though if it's a small context of it, because you would like people to know that I'm your teammate. I got your back, and anywhere you're at, not just on the field, you have any issues, you know that, okay, I have this person, I can just drop a text and this person make me feel better. And it works both ways. That is the thing culturally that we need more in Malaysia, in any sports, because it does come down to your mental aspect. Like sometimes people demotivate me, I'm not good enough, I have a bad time, I can't accomplish my best rep, things like that. Who do you look to when you don't do that? Some people can deal it on their own. Again, not saying it's a bad thing, but having additional support to push you to your limit plays a huge role, how the athletes would be. That's why some athletes, when I play, in any sport I play, like handball, and basketball, flag football now.
Oh, banyak lagi sukan.
I play a lot. Okay. Just like right now, professionally in the flag, when there's a crowd and they're cheering, you will feel it differently. You would like to play better. You would like to represent your team or your country better, and you don't want to mess up. Even though you win or lose, you do know that I came in 110%. I gave everything I have got for the country. That is what representing is, being a team player. Because when I am in front of a camera or in front of the audience, I need to be the best version of myself so I can inspire younger generation to be. So yeah.
Wow, Mark, saya yang berpeluang untuk bersama dengan awak hari ini, saya rasa sangat terinspirasi based on apa yang awak kongsikan sepanjang perbualan kita, dan kita harapkan juga penonton-penonton, pendengar-pendengar yang menyaksikan dan mendengarkan episod kali ini juga terinspirasi daripada apa yang Mark Kang kongsikan. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kita harapkan segala misi, objektif, target you semua akan tercapai. Lebih-lebih lagi untuk membawa nama negara, mengharumkan nama negara, dan semoga ada sokongan berterusan dan sepatutnya yang mereka perolehi, tak kisah daripada sukan HYROX, flag football ataupun apa saja sukan yang mungkin orang kata based on community, tapi sebenarnya mereka membawa semangat yang sama. Terima kasih juga kepada anda yang saksikan episod kali ini. Kita jumpa lagi bersama dengan atlet tetamu di episod akan datang. Rakan Muda Presents MySukan Corner. Thank you so much guys. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.